We did it. We're back. What's happening, everyone? We're back. We're back. Welcome back. Episode 9. We're back. I'm counting off the number at the beginning because trying to keep pace with Talk Tua. I think I'm behind. And I got a head start on Talk Tua by a lot. There's 11 episodes of Talk Tua. And it started in September. I started this podcast in April. And there's 9 episodes. Shit. I'm getting out podcasted by Hawk Tua. Fuck. Well, it's time to give up. All right. If you're listening to this, it's over. It's over. It's over, guys. It's over. It's over. Just kidding. It's just beginning. You think it's the end, but it's just the beginning. A little Bob Marley to satisfy your soul. Wow. Welcome back. It's November 22nd as I'm recording this. The last time I had an episode hit the airwaves, when the hell was it? I can't remember. It was a while ago. It's been a few weeks. November 8th. All right, so it was this month. I was like, was it before or after the did I get one up in November? I did. It was uploaded on November 8th, but it was recorded before the election, before the major events. So much has happened since the last episode. We have a new president, the same as the old president. Thank you, The Who. And thank you all the swing states. 2024 election. I think they still, has 100% of everything come in at this point? I just wanted to see if the turnout increased or decreased. I don't know if that number. Come on, give me the. We're at 99% reporting, so they're not 100%. But it was a razor in the popular vote, which doesn't count, which is funny. We live in a democracy, but it doesn't matter who gets more votes because that's how democracy works, right? In the popular vote, it was razor thin. Trump won by, right? I mean, again, it's not 100%. It's 99% reporting. But as of right now, he has 50% of the vote exactly. And Kamala got 48.4. So can I do math? 1.6%, right? So that's not a lot. So it was a thin margin. We shall see what happens. I mean, I'm always rooting for America. I'm always hoping for the rising tide to lift all boats. Am I holding my breath? No. But, I don't, yeah, I mean, I'll be, hey, I didn't vote for the guy, but he's the president. I want the president to succeed. I want America to succeed. I want everyone to succeed. So, there you go. So, I'm rooting for America, but, that also, it's not just if a Republican's in charge, if a Democrat's in charge, if they do something I don't agree with, I'm going to call them out on it. So, there we go. So, I don't know. I live in, as someone commented on my YouTube channel, a socialist, where did they say I live in? I live in friggin' the Soviet Union. I don't know. Someone just was like, "You live where all the socialists live." They're not socialists here. Trust me. They are resistance liberals. That's what they are, and they are all very. There were a lot of them were very. I just think it's goofy if you think either of the establishment parties, when they get into power, it's going to change everything. No, it's not. It's clearly not. It's not going to change everything. Trump just presents himself. He presents himself authentically, and he broke. He broke politics in a way, or did he break it? He didn't break it. I don't know. Did he? He broke the old mold for what you thought a politician had to be. That's what I'm trying to say. And that people think that's that's a cosmetic change. Is it a change on policy, legislation, how they're going to govern? Who knows? We'll see. So yeah. Is either party exactly the same? No. But are they more similar than most people would like to admit? Yes. They're both the big business party. They're both captured by wealthy elites. I mean, so, it's... Yeah. So, there we go. The President of the United States. First president since, Grover Cleveland to have a non-consecutive terms. So I don't know, big history dork. I was like, oh, it's only happened one other time in our history. I don't know. Was it the same situation with Grover Cleveland? Did he win, run again, lose, and then do it again? Let me see. 1892. He wins. 1892. Nice. 1896. Oh, wait. No, hold on. I've gone too far. Gone too far in the future. Grover Cleveland beat James G. Blaine. Then he lost to Benjamin Harrison, and then he won against Benjamin Harrison. So this has happened before in America, but not for a while. Over 100 years ago. So yeah, that was the fun little fact about that. Trump is the second non-consecutive president. There we go. The only other thing that I want to talk about the election in Massachusetts, we were voting on legalizing psychedelics. Question 4. Spoiler alert, it did not pass. I was disappointed about that. I was also not holding my breath about that. I don't know why my gut told me it wasn't gonna pass. I don't know. People are... I really don't know. I guess I don't know. People are more... People are more anti-drug than they let on. I don't know. Or people are just more conservative, I guess, than they let on or act. I don't know. I don't know what the hell I'm saying. Don't listen to me. I'm a great orator for this question. I supported it because I've seen so many people talk about the positive effects on people with PTSD and mental health issues and whatnot, and just, people giving their own testimony about it. Really, okay, this is kind of what I thought about it. I thought maybe the jump from illegal to fully legal might have been too big of a switch for some people. I honestly, my gut, I feel like if this question was to decriminalize psychedelics statewide, I feel like that would have had a much better chance of passing than going from just decriminalization in a few certain cities in Massachusetts to fully legalization. Again, I'm in favor of legalization of psychedelic substances. I think they're incredibly beneficial for medicine, and some of them are natural. I saw I watched, because this was the question I was most interested in. I watched like a quick little debate about it or whatever, and some psychiatrist or whatever made the point. Some people who were against it were saying they didn't like the fact that you could grow it at home. But I mean, I think that's dumb because I don't know. It's a plant. It's a fungus or whatever. So I mean, like, I don't know. I don't know. I think you should be allowed to cultivate it. Hey, that's just my opinion. I don't know. Some people were against the commission and advisory board to regulate it or whatever, but to me, I mean, I read that and I did think, okay, that's a little weird, I guess, but that wasn't enough for me to be like, I'm going to oppose this. Because again, I mean, if you legalize it, that's, I mean, the correct answer and what should happen. I mean, you could, just from a freedom perspective, literally, forget all. You could just make an argument based on freedom that you should be allowed to do this, and I think you should. And then, the even better argument is that this actually helps people. So why is it illegal? I have my own conspiracy theories about that. Like, the government knows that the psychedelics make you awake, man, and then you're not a slave to society, bro. Or it was Richard Nixon and Ronald Reagan in the 60s who wanted to criminalize the lifestyle of their political opponents, hippies, people they knew who used drugs, and they were like, okay, we criminalize their lifestyle, we put our political opponents in prison, there you go. Done and dusted. Ronald Reagan, that was when he was the governor of California. In the 60s. So yes, Massachusetts question 4, legalization and regulation of psychedelic substances initiative, was defeated, unfortunately. But it was 57%, 42%. So I mean, what's yeah, again, not a huge only 7% of percentage points deciding that one. So, I mean, it was close. But yeah, I think eventually it will be legalized. I hope in my lifetime. At least decriminalized. I mean, I don't know. I think the benefits speak for themselves. Anecdotally, just hearing from people and, some studies that have been done. I think there's definitely some evidence out there, 100%, that these are positive substances and they help people. And it's strange. It's like I don't want to say it's harder to get addicted to them, because I mean you can get addicted to anything. But I don't know, just the nature of these substances. I mean, if you've ever taken them, it's easier to understand. I mean, that's really also what I think a lot of this was people who have never done this, have no idea what this is, and they just hear. I mean, there's so many. What was the programming they told me in health class in 8th grade about LSD? Oh, it's going to get stuck in your spine, and then one day you'll just start tripping balls again. And you're like, oh, that sounds scary. But then you do it, and you're like, oh, free psychedelic experience, sign me up. I'm still waiting for that to happen to me, guys. So, yeah, I don't know. Just in the culture in general, the war on drugs. So, all right, Massachusetts was voting on psychedelics, but a few other states were voting on legalization of marijuana, which I thought that had a better chance of passing, but none. 0 states legalized cannabis, which I thought was I was surprised by that. Let me find it. The New York Times had a really good breakdown of like all of them. Here we go. Oh my God, Google. Ugh. Here we go. All right, thank you. Yes, so Nebraska legalized medical marijuana, and it was on the ballot in North and South Dakota and in Florida for full legalization, and it failed in all 3. Now, in Florida, though, this is so crazy to me, and I actually did want to talk about this. This is ridiculous. It got 55.9% of the vote. Majority of the people in Florida who voted for it were in favor of it. But Florida has a rule, which I didn't even know about, that for ballot measures to pass, it has to reach 60%, which someone's going to have to explain that one to me. Because, I mean, how is that more democratic? I don't understand. That weirdly, it gives the minority more power in, exactly what happened. Like if you're in the range of 50 to, if you're in the majority, 50 to 59%, you're in the majority, but it's not enough of a majority, I guess. Well, that is the rule. That is incredibly stupid, incredibly undemocratic, and to me, obviously just implemented to prevent change and help keep things from not moving in a certain direction. I'm sure opponents of this would say, oh, it's just to make sure that, whatever gets passed is, overwhelmingly supported or whatever. But, I mean, if you look through American history, I'm pretty sure you could find some examples of certain things that were passed that, were razor-thin margins and maybe, didn't have 60% of people in favor of it, but should have, was the correct way to go, I guess is what I'm trying to say. But yeah, I just think it's hilarious that, I don't know, it's hilariously stupid that you can have again, it's like we have a system where it just doesn't make sense to me that less people, it doesn't make sense. It makes 0 sense how you can have a vote. It's breaking my brain. Like when you're a kid and you have class elections or whatever the hell, Do you have the kid who gets less votes win? Like, no, it's always like fundamentally, it's always like whoever gets the most votes wins or whatever. So I don't know. I think it's very interesting that this creates a system where you can have the minority have more power than the majority. You can have less people outweigh more people. It's very interesting. And it's kind of, yeah, I don't even know. It's just so confusing to me. I can't even articulate my thoughts about it. It doesn't make so much sense to me. But yeah, I mean, Trump he endorsed legal weed in Florida. So I mean, you got the head honcho endorsing it. I think DeSantis opposed it though. So I mean, I don't know. I mean, just kind of on the freedom thing, I thought it would pass. And I mean, again, it got 50 something, 57, 56, 59, 55.9% of the vote. So I mean, it got majority of the people, but not enough of a majority. So yeah, that's I don't know. I just think that's very interesting. But good on Nebraska for legalizing medical marijuana. So there we go. That's something. I mean, it should at least, it should be fully legal everywhere, but that is a step in the correct direction. So now Nebraska will join the states that have done everything but legalize weed after it is implemented that it is legal for medical use, because they have already decriminalized it. So they will join North Dakota, Louisiana, Mississippi, and New Hampshire, which has done everything but legalize cannabis, which that puts it in such a, if it's medically legal and it's decriminalized, but it's not fully legal, that, I mean, that's such, it's like a, I mean, what even happens if they, I don't even know, like, what the, like, can you get in, it's, decriminalization means it's not a felony, you just get, like, a ticket, so that's what it is. They don't bring you to jail, which is good. So it's a misdemeanor, which is, yeah, it shouldn't even be a misdemeanor. Oh, Hawaii is also a state that has medical cannabis and decriminalization. So there we go. So Nebraska is joining those states. So there we go. It moved less in the direction that I thought it would. I thought we'd get one state to legalize it. Florida tried. What else have I think abortion in Florida, the exact same thing happened. Abortion on the ballot, which that was all abortion access, right to reproductive freedom in Maryland passed. Missouri, it passed, a more conservative state. Arizona, they went red. Colorado, more blue state. Montana, right to abortion passed. And yeah, so Nebraska, it failed. Nebraska, South Dakota, and Florida. And Florida again. And this one was even, it was even closer to 60%. It was 57.2. Yeah, very, very interesting. It's very interesting. I just think it's funny how that creates a dichotomy where, well, I don't know. I just think it's interesting that inherently it obviously would seem to like benefit the no position, right? If you're if that only needs, all right, this is it. Yes, if effectively no only needs 41%, right? Because then that would prevent, then it's impossible to get to 60. I don't know. This is so confusing. I don't know. All I know is I'm pretty sure that this is creating a system where somehow less people are telling more people what to do, and I think that's very silly and interesting. But again, democracy. Democracy manifest. That guy. A succulent Chinese meal. There we go. That's a good pivot from politics. Succulent Chinese meal. Rest in peace. Rest in peace. Wow, October 1991. This guy died pretty recently. When did he die? Jack Carlson. He died in August. Rest in peace. Succulent Chinese meal. Get your hands off my penis. All right. All right, that's enough of that. I could go for a succulent Chinese meal right now. That would be pretty good. American Chinese food is pretty good. What do I get? Chicken teriyaki, beef teriyaki, some rice. Chinese food. There we go. I'm a big fan of hibachi, Japanese food. That's really, well, yeah, all Japanese food, I guess. I like sushi too. That's fire. And it's healthier for you. It's a little lighter. Good times, good times. Well, I was watching Matt Stone, one of the South Park guys. I guess they're making a live action movie right now. I can't wait for that. Those guys are geniuses. He said something that made me very happy, which is that in the past they were like, in the past they had been asked like, oh, do you see yourself making South Park in your 50s? And they were both like, oh no, we don't think that'll happen. And now Trey and Matt are both in their 50s, and the interviewer asked him, he was like, so is there an end in sight for South Park? And he was like, there is not. And that is probably the best news I've received this entire year. Yeah, that show is like important for culture. I mean, it's like it's grandfathered in where they can just get away with anything. And it's also so, I've seen other people talk about this, and it really is kind of fascinating, where in a cartoon you can do so much more than what you can do. What people will get way less upset at a cartoon than they do with, actors, doing something. And it's not real. It's still fake in both situations. But I mean, I guess it's just the optics of like, seeing a real human pretend to do something as opposed to, a cartoon or whatever. But I just, that show is incredible. And the stuff that they do on there is amazing. They're both geniuses. Everything they've ever done is freaking hilarious. Awesome. Team America. Incredible. I mean, the video, yeah, they made the fractured butthole. Come on. Let's go, South Park video games. But yeah, I anything they do, I'm here for it. I'm excited. Is there play, the Book of Mormon? Is that still happening? It says 2011 to present day. Present day. Today. Oh wow, a film adaptation. No way. So maybe that's what they're doing. Well, yeah, South Park is the best. It is the best. They swing hard, and that's what you got to do. You got to swing hard. You got to swing for the fences. Well, so what else is going on in the big wide world? What else has happened? Anything else big happen since I last rambled, since I last broadcasted over the airwaves? The election and the aftermath of the election has just kind of been on everyone's conscious, I guess. So yeah, I feel like there was something else I had wanted to mention, but maybe it'll pop up. Maybe I'll remember it. It'll pop up in my brain. Who knows? What's happening in the National Basketball Association? My Celtics gave the Cleveland Cavaliers their first loss of the season. They were freaking. What did they do? I think they tied number 2 for the best regular season start. Yeah, the Warriors in 15-16, they went 16-0 to start, and then the 95-96 Bulls. Oh, what the hell is this? You don't care about my privacy. You want my data. I just want to know the best starts in NBA history. Here we go. Thank you. 93-94 Rockets. 48-49 Washington Capitals. Red Auerbach, let's go. The GOAT. And then the Cavs this year. Those are the 3 teams to go 15-0. The Cavs, the Capitals, and the Houston Rockets. And then the Warriors got number 1. Wow. They got to 20. Who the heck said? I swear to God, I heard someone say they made it to 16 and then lost. What? 24-0. Yeah, I mean they went 73-9 that year, which is absurd. Absolutely ridiculous. What was the 95-96 Bulls record? Was it 72-10? Come on, where are we? Oh, just give me the answer. Here we go. Yeah, 72-10, 95-96 Bulls. There we go. In my opinion, I would love to see that team square up against the 15-16 Warriors. That would be, woo, Michael Jordan. Greatest NBA teams of all time: 95-96 Bulls, 85-86 Celtics. This is in no particular order. I'm not doing that right now. I'm just going to say the top. Oh, the Sixers in 82-83. They had a freaking really good squad. Dr. J, Moses Malone. Who did they play in the playoffs? I'm pretty sure it was a gauntlet. I know they definitely beat my Celtics. Nope, they did not. Wow. Oh, because it was the beat LA thing. They beat us, and then I think that was the year before this when they beat us in the East Finals. And then I think that's the origin of the beat LA chant when when we were like, all right, we're going to lose, but just don't, as long as you beat the Lakers, it's fine. And then they lost to the Lakers. So there you go. Yeah. I think I heard Bill Burr talking about that team on his podcast. And I was like, oh, yeah, Dr. J, Moses Malone. My goodness. Who else was on that team? Andrew Toney. Maurice Cheeks. Yeah, they had a squad. What's the best Lakers team? Oh, it's got to be the 86-87 Lakers. They were pretty good. Not better than my Celtics. Oh, Larry Bird, Magic Johnson. Peak NBA. Those are some crazy. I think I've watched it twice. Is on HBO. There's a Larry and Magic doc. It's great, especially if you're in the younger generation like me and you didn't get to experience that firsthand. I thought that was awesome. I liked how it talked about how similar their games are. One of the points in that documentary was like they're kind of the same player, which is very interesting. Larry, I think, definitely had a better jump shot, but Magic was definitely the better athlete. Magic Johnson. He's also kind of a guy too. Like if he played today, people have said like what he could be, and I think I think they did have him like line up at kind of like LeBron, like he'd play center or whatever. I might be totally wrong on that, but they would have him like do all the different positions or whatever. Yeah, a 6'9" point guard is a cheat code. He was very, very good. Any other teams I'm forgetting? Anyone that I have to mention? Ooh, 2011 Dallas Mavericks squad. Anyone else? Just the Spurs in general. Do I want to give that's all I can think of right now. Those are some good squads. Nick talks NBA history. Well, it's early in the season now, but let's look at the Warriors have been a big surprise. I mean, right now they're first in the West. If this frickin' Jonathan Kuminga, he's kind of having like his breakout season. He's averaging 16 a game and 4 boards right now. I thought he'd be getting more rebounds. Maybe I don't know. Yeah, he's developing. And he's got, as Charles Barkley said, he has lots of potential. So we'll see we'll see what the if Steph Curry is gonna freaking go off. He usually does. Yeah, they will not go away. Credit to Golden State. I thought losing Klay Thompson was gonna have a bigger impact on them than it has so far. I did think I heard Barkley say on one of the inside guys say that they didn't think the Warriors could keep this pace up for the whole year because they're saying Steph is just playing absolutely out of his mind right now, so he would have to like keep his pace up or whatever. We shall see. I liked him on Dallas. I honestly remembered in the finals. I felt like a lot of like Luka would drive, kick to an open guy, and then they just like clank the three. So I was like, okay, he seems kind of like a good fit with them, where he can just kind of post up in the wings or whatever, and then just shoot open threes. But Dallas is in the play-in right now. But again, it's early. It is early. I don't know. My prediction for the finals, Celtics Thunder, but I would not be disappointed in a Celtics Warriors rematch. I would take that. I think that would be a fun series, and I hope I think the Celtics, I think they would like that too. I think Tatum and Brown and the whole squad, they would, as a competitor, I think you gotta. How often do you get a chance to even the score? So as a competitor, you gotta love that opportunity. But yeah, we will see what happens. But it's about to be Thanksgiving, and that means that the NFL is for real right now. We know who's good. We know who's bad. Mostly. Who is bad? The Jets. The Jets are bad. The Jets. My Patriots. The Jaguars. Who's got the number one pick right now? It's got to be the Jags. There was a chance my Patriots were getting Travis Hunter. Doesn't look like that's happening anymore. But we shall see. The Jags just freaking like imploded. Well, no Trevor Lawrence, so I mean that doesn't help. But I mean, was he even? I don't even know if he was really playing that well even when he was in. I have not been that up to date on Jacksonville Jaguars football. But yes, my New England Patriots have the 5th pick right now. But Drake May has looked good, so that is a positive. I haven't seen too much of this season, but from what I have seen, I've liked from him. The biggest thing that I liked about him had nothing to do with his game, just his attitude and mentality. One of the biggest things that I noticed, or I felt like I noticed with him that I really like, is that when he makes a mistake, he doesn't like totally freak out or whatever. It's not like it's with other quarterbacks or whatever. I feel like I've seen that, they make a mistake and they get in their head about it and they start getting super emotional and freak out. I like that. I see him make a mistake, he's even keeled. Frustration or whatever, that's fine, that's good, but just not like letting it like dominate your emotions or whatever. But yeah, with other quarterbacks, I've definitely, that honestly is one of the biggest tells for me, in my opinion. Like, how do you handle adversity? You know, because when when things are going good, it's easy. But when things are not going good, that's when your true character is revealed. But yeah, he's been playing good. So hopefully, hopefully we can build a team around him. We haven't been able to draft a frickin' wide receiver in our entire, since Stanley Morgan. Was that his name? Disrespect. I know it is. That it was his name. Yes, Stanley Morgan. Shout out. Probably, yeah, the greatest Patriot wide receiver of all time. You know, in my heart, it's Randy Moss, but the stats say Stanley Morgan. Randy Moss had a lot of touchdowns, though, in that one season. He sure did. I think I'm just going to reference the 2007 Patriots and Randy Moss as much as possible in this podcast. I know I've definitely done that before. That's just what's in my consciousness constantly. It's like Tom Brady, 2007 Patriots, Randy Moss losing the Super Bowl to David Tyree, sticking a football to the side of your head. That was so long ago now. That was a long time ago. It was very formative for me. The Dodgers won the World Series. They beat the Yankees. Thank you. That happened. I just had to acknowledge the Yankees lost the World Series as a Red Sox fan. And then, oh yes, the Bruins. My Boston Bruins. We fired our head coach again. We again fired the person not responsible. Oh dear. So now is Montgomery going to win the Stanley Cup? I mean, it's like, now I want him to, because we freaking screwed him. We screwed Bruce Cassidy, then we bring in this guy, and now we screw this guy. So, and all the players were literally like, we let him down. We let down a good man. We failed him. So, oof. But whenever I'm in the gym, they have the Bruins on, and I always joke, it's like, oh, how much are we losing by? Because whenever I'm in there, I feel like, oh, the Bruins are on and they're losing, but we won. We beat the Utah Hockey Club. They're a real team. We beat a real team. We did it. We did it. Let's go, Bruins. It could go either way right now. We're 9-9. Are we? I don't even know. What's the playoffs looking like? The NHL playoff bracket. Oh, whatever. Are we in the playoffs right now? That's all I want to know. I don't think so. What are you doing, Bruins? Why are you firing all of our head coaches? We'll see what happens. Back after a brief pause. We're back, though. I cannot remember what I was talking about before I paused. I think I kind of finished whatever the heck I was saying. I don't know. I was kind of droning off. Whatever. Not like anyone's listening to this. Okay. I watched a good movie recently. Never seen before. Never even heard of it. Really, really good. I was very pleasantly surprised. Edge of Tomorrow, starring Tom Cruise and Emily Blunt. I was very pleasantly surprised with how good this movie was. Loosely based on the Japanese light novel All You Need Is Kill. That got me excited when it's I love a good story. I love a well-written story. So usually, obviously not 100% of the time, the book or whatever, the story, novel or whatever will translate to film. Um, I just really like the premise of this movie. It was really good. It's like a alien invasion. Spoiler alert, spoilers. It's like an alien invasion movie where Tom Cruise's character gets sent on like a suicide mission basically, and then he gets caught in a time loop, and then he has to, through the time loop, save humanity and destroy the aliens or whatever. I thought it was an interesting take on like an alien invasion movie, a little different. Funnily enough, as I was watching it, it kind of reminded me, like, again, spoilers, how Tom Cruise's character, like, re-enters the time loop or whatever, as he has to die. So it kind of, I was watching it, I was like, this is kind of similar to, like, video games, like when you die in a video game and then you respawn or whatever. And then as I was looking up the book or whatever, the author of the book, he said that was actually like a piece of his inspiration, like playing video games and that exact same thing. So I thought that was interesting. That I, like, as someone who played a bunch of video games, I was like, okay, I can definitely see the connection. Yeah, I was very pleasantly surprised. Check it out. If you're looking for a new movie to watch, I had not seen it before. I highly recommend. I thought it was fun. Nick Moore movie reviews. I guess, I don't know. I liked whenever you're like, I think the Rick and Morty people talked about this. Like, whenever I mean, this isn't time travel, but it's like messing with the timeline or whatever in a plot or something. Whenever you do that, things can sometimes get convoluted or whatever. But I feel like the movie did a good job of, like, cutting out a ton of bullshit and, like, keeping it linear in a sense, so it was easy. It wasn't. I didn't really find it confusing. I found it easy to follow. Yeah, I enjoyed Edge of Tomorrow, and it intrigued me to check out All You Need Is Kill, the novel that it is, according to Wikipedia, loosely based on. So it's not exact, but also kind of some parallels to, like, the Fallout video games. I don't know if that was, like, I don't think it was on purpose or whatever, but they have, like, power armor or whatever. I don't know. It's just like futuristic stuff or whatever. It's a sci-fi. It's a science fiction flick. So yeah, I thought that was cool. I had a good time watching that. Well, there we go. I guess that's my Edge of Tomorrow movie review, because that's what everyone wants to know. Yeah, I hadn't watched a movie in a long time. I can't remember the last like movie. I mean, it wasn't even a movie. The last movie I watched before that was the George Carlin documentary on HBO, George Carlin's American Dream. I also highly recommend that as well. Obviously, different speed, but and I think it helps to be a fan of George before you go into it. It was made for, like, watching it, I was like, this was made for me. This is perfect. It was, like, made for diehard George Carlin fans. George Carlin's American Dream. It was 2 parts. I just want to see how long it was. It was like 3 hours in total. But yeah, this was I mean, yeah, not even documentary, not a film. What was the last film I freaking watched? I think I rewatched Reservoir Dogs. I'd seen that one before. Also great, great movie. Great movie. But yeah, I with Edge of Tomorrow, I'll be honest, I went into it not really knowing what to expect or whatever, and then the way they the way they did the story, I felt like, okay, this isn't something I've seen before, even though it's like similar premise. I thought it was different enough and like compelling enough to make you, still be engaged in the story. So yeah. Freaking 10-year-old movie already. Crazy. But yeah. And All You Need Is Kill. That's a good title. I like that. I'm just going to keep saying that because I like that. It's a good title for a book, in my opinion. I like it. Getting caught in a time loop. Are we just all in a time loop? That's why I like this movie, because it's just about how time is fake and doesn't exist. Getting trapped in a time loop. I'm getting stuck in a time loop of doing these podcasts. Hey, yo. It's not a time loop, though. It's not the same podcast every time. It's a different podcast. So it's not a time loop. Well. What else did I want to talk about? If, compound interest and exponential growth, two concepts I've kind of been bouncing around in my head in the for like goal setting, or just anything. I guess anything, but mainly like goal setting or whatever. And it's showtime again. This is the episode that doesn't want to get finished, but it's getting finished. What the fuck was I talking about before I got interrupted? I think I was rambling about compound interest or something or whatever, exponential growth. My only point in bringing both of those things up, and I'll talk about this again in future episodes, I'll definitely reference this. At least in my how, I don't know, sometimes how I, perceive a big change to happen. I don't know. You think things happen overnight, quickly, or whatever, but then there's that expression, Rome wasn't built in a day. I mean, that is exactly compounding interest and exponential growth. Just small, regular investments, investments or whatever skill or thing you're trying to get better at, or whatever, just constantly showing up and putting in the work and applying yourself. Really, it's just about consistency. So just keep showing up and then keep building. I feel like that's more compounding interest, and then exponential growth is like when something grows relative to the size of what it already is. So it depends what you're doing, but both of those concepts can work together and kind of be intertwined. There's a Japanese philosophy called Kaizen, which is a business practice that encourages continuous improvements in all aspects of business. And kind of similarly, it's like just focusing on constantly improving, constantly growing, and getting better, not just, one massive big jump or whatever. Just the little improvements over time is what's really going to be the pay dividends in the long run, I guess. I think that's what I was trying to say. Who cares? That's what I'm saying now. Kaizen. So yeah. I was scrolling through frickin' the social media formerly known as Twitter, and boy oh boy, it is just a complete cesspit. It is to quote Sean Connery, the slime of humanity is Sean Connery in Indiana Jones. Um, it's just annoying. It's just so many loud, annoying people, and it's just like anytime I was just like, why am I on this terrible app? The funny thing that's so this is, I mean, funny I don't know. I just find this fascinating about that platform. I think I heard this on Joe Rogan, and then I Googled it, and I was like, no way, this is true. But 10% of users on that platform account for 92% of the tweets, which is insane. That's just it's ridiculous. Just 10% of the people on there are just flooding that platform with their bullshit and their garbage, and then it's just so goofy because it's just like the same. It's just a complete echo chamber. I think that application, I don't know, since Elon Musk bought it and he's a big Trump guy and Republican, a bunch of Democrat people, I guess, have been saying, they're like, oh, we're going to go over to a different social media. It's so funny. It's like this is exactly what Trump left, or he got banned or whatever, and then made Truth Social, and now it's Elon. Now it's the exact opposite's happening. It's just so stupid. It's all so freaking dumb. I don't know. Yeah. So I don't know. Anytime I don't take Twitter seriously. It's not it's not real life. It's bullcrap. I use it for free advertising. That's all it's good for. It's free. You get what you pay for. But with it's just insane how misleading that app is on making you like. It does a great job of giving a tiny percentage of people with their loud and obnoxious and annoying views and make it seem like they have an incredible megaphone and, are a lot more powerful, or like people agree with them. It's just dumb. Yeah, whatever. So yeah, I don't know. Yeah, what I'm looking at right now says 10% of users create 92% of tweets, which is just like I saw like 10% do 90%, but I mean only 2% difference, still freaking 90% of that platform is from only a handful of people. So yeah, and I think I saw another stat where it's like majority of accounts on Twitter post like once a month, and it is still Twitter, because you tweet something, you don't exit out into the ether or whatever. Who cares anyway? It's just a stupid social media platform. Whatever. It's not real life. Yeah. Honestly, like TikTok might be better, which is crazy. I can't believe those words are coming out of my mouth. I'm not on TikTok. I've resisted the attempts by the Chinese Communist Party to data mine me. I only give my data to American companies because I'm a patriot. Yeah, whatever. Twitter's fucking bullshit and annoying. All the people on there are so self-important, and they can stay on Twitter. Stay on Twitter. You are important. Everyone cares. Just stay on there. Leave the rest of us alone. So yeah. How do I end the podcast episode that didn't want to end, or I couldn't finish? Is there anything else I want to wrap up with? It was NFL Sunday today. Anything crazy happen? There was a wild ending in the Cowboys Commanders game, 99-yard kickoff return, and then someone missed the extra point or whatever. I didn't watch the full game. I just saw some highlights after the fact. We're at Thanksgiving, so we know all the standings are real. We know who's good and who isn't. My Patriots lost again today, but Drake May has been playing good. And we had no expectations this year, so we're building, we're rebuilding post Tom Brady. But Celtics won today, so there we go. And they are not rebuilding, they are contending. And with that, I am ending episode 9, the longest episode. maybe not the finished product, but the longest one for me to get done. All right. Well, if you've somehow made it to the end of this, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Love you. Appreciate you. Hit that subscribe button. It is free if you are so inclined. Check out all the links in the description. See what I am up to. Who knows? That's it for this one. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. I'll catch you on the flip. Peace.